right. So again, welcome everyone this morning to the orientation for the Extra Wish program at the Community Foundation. My name is Ryan Rodriguez. I'm the grants manager with the Community Foundation, and I'll be walking us through this orientation this morning. All right, so for those of you who may not be as familiar with us, here at the Community Foundation, I mean, our role here is to work with community members, community partners, in the community, organizations in the community with our donors to really increase the vitality of the region, as we say, and the well-being of our residents. So that's really building community in our region. And that's working with you, our nonprofit partners, as well as our donors, and bringing those together. This program is not a discretionary grant-making program if you're familiar or have applied through other opportunities with us. This is specifically a donor initiative that we offer to nonprofits as an additional way of supporting you and offering some support with the help of our donors as well. So a little bit about Extra Wish too is, again, it's really looking at specific needs. One of the things about Extra Wish is that we've taken down some criteria. So what this does is it allows organizations to let us know of needs that they have that are beyond regular grant making cycles. So beyond just general operating support or toolbox, if you have applied for any of our toolbox capacity building grants. So Extra Wish is sort of a little bit more focused for some tangible grants that can give you resources that you might be needing, or just a little extra extra items around the organization that have literally been on a wish list and that you'd like to get crossed off that wish list. And so we're really trying to open this up a little bit for organizations to allow them to show us some flexibility in how they can use resources and some specific needs that they might have. So there's some minimal eligibility requirements for Extra Wish. You can't have been featured in the catalog within the last year. So if you were in the catalog last year, you would not be eligible again this year. We are looking for organizations within our geography, our 23 county footprint in the metro area. So it's a large footprint. So hopefully that allows for inclusion of many organizations. 501c3 status is required for the Extra Wish program. At least 1 year of operating history. That way so that you have a little bit of knowledge and information to know what needs you have and certainly can provide for your beneficiaries or who the communities you serve. And then we're looking for organizations that have operating expenses over $25,000, and this is really to kind of balance out the amount of the grants as a portion of those operating expenses. So we don't want to over leverage those grants for you and cause any issues for you there. When it comes to the requests, so this is getting into kind of what are eligible requests for Extra Wish, and these are some examples. So on the program side, these may be, these are obviously not all inclusive, but these are examples of requests that can be fulfilled. And this is medical supplies, equipment. So if you have, if you are providing services to youth or families and there's, playground equipment, donors do enjoy being able to fulfill requests for organizations needing to have equipment for their communities. Same thing with educational materials. This is, books, anything that can be used by the communities you serve on the program side. operational items. We also want to acknowledge that organizations sometimes need equipment to operate, and these are sometimes just, again, on the wish list, that if we had some additional dollars, we would love to get these items. That can be furniture, that can be technology. If you have kitchens in your organization, those are also eligible requests. So think outside of the traditional grant making box when you're going through the application, and really think about those things that you're like, oh man, I really wish we had this or that. Same thing with services. If there are services you have really been wanting to pursue but haven't had resources to do that, you can list those as well. And there at the bottom of that screen, you see that in the 2020 catalog, you can look through examples of some of the requests that are posted in that catalog. So it gives you a little idea of what some of the extra wish requests look like. And that is posted on our website. We ask that the requests not be larger than $5,000. And again, this is really to enable us to have a variety of requests in the catalog, and to share with our donors a range of options to support organizations. You can request up to 3 items within that request. So we do ask that you limit it to 3, just again, so that we can kind of keep it relatively manageable for us to list in the book, and to give other organizations opportunities to submit their wishes as well. We do ask that you complete a profile on our website, an organization profile through our website. This way, that helps us with our eligibility screening. So if you go online and submit that profile, or update it if you already have a profile, just make sure you update it so we have current contact information, so that we can communicate with you throughout this process, and you won't miss a step. And then, of course, the fully completed Extra Wish application, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but the link is on the website, and it's a fairly short, I'd say to the point, grant application, really just asking for the wish information, and letting you really tell us the story of how these wishes can help your organization. So some of the things that Extra Wish grants will not fulfill, and these are to recompensate or to reimburse for items that have already been purchased or procured. So we're wanting to help you with new items or wish list items. So in nothing that's already been purchased. Again, limit, if you can, to limit the requests to under $5,000. That can be a cumulative amount. So when we talk about those 3, being able to list 3 different items, if you can make that request a total of $5,000 among those 3 items, that will work. Ineligible requests would be vehicles, gas for those vehicles, memberships and fees are not qualified as well. And we really want to steer away from general operating in this particular case. While our general grant making, we are really trying to broaden and push for general operating expenses. This is a little bit more focused on specific tangible items for you and your organization. And again, the Extra Wish program is not intended to be a grant for endowments. Again, trying to really get something in your hands or in the hands of the communities you serve is the intention with the Extra Wish program. So some tips for a successful request. Thinking about timing, because of how we'll make the program book and the catalog for our donors. Grants will probably start to be funded in the beginning of next year. So think about that when you're submitting your requests or your wishes. that, project ahead and think about, or early next year. So if it's an urgent or immediate need, we might not be able to fulfill that because of the timing of the publication of the catalog and distribution to our donors, and then giving them time to review the wishes and making their decisions of funding. So think about that. We'll probably be starting that in Q1 of next year, in the beginning of next year. The application, when you log in, we have the spaces for you to complete your wishes, to fill in the information. Put as much detail as you can, that gives some clarity around the wish and really put some context around it. So, tell us how it will help you or help the communities you serve. It makes it more compelling for not only for our donors, but also for anyone who does look at the Extra Wish catalog, because it will be posted on our website. So a lot of eyes can be looking at it. And so think about, the storytelling behind the wishes that you're thinking about for your organization, that go in this catalog. So how to apply. So step one is to review the guidelines, which are posted on the website. And that will give you a good idea, again, a reiteration of what I've talked about here in terms of eligibility, but you'll also see a little bit more information around the timing of the program, which we'll also talk about in just a second. But all the information you need is there in the 2021 guidelines on the Extra Wish page. Again, complete the organization profile. If you haven't been to our profile or our portal, or if it's been a while since you've been there, we have made some adjustments and changes to the organization profile. It is a bit more robust, so please don't be intimidated by it. We have expanded the demographics section, not only on the demographics of the leadership and staff and board of the organization, but also of the community served. And I'd say that that's really in alignment with our effort to try to be more inclusive in our community and make sure that we are including organizations across the spectrum in our grant making. Those are not required. So it's optional. We understand that organizations may not have the information that we're asking for. It's very detailed. So don't be intimidated and don't get scared off if you're like, oh man, we don't have this information. It is not required. If you have it, it just helps us paint a picture of your organization and see how diversity and how equity is framed in your organization. And it also lets us know about the communities that you are serving, and it lets us know a little bit more about the context of your story. And then certainly completing the Extra Wish application is the most important. And you'll see there the deadline is July 30th. So it's a little bit of a condensed timeline if you've applied in previous years. We really have learned over the years that getting towards the end of the year, it gets really compact for not just us, but for organizations. And so we want to try to get ahead of the end of the year season for organizations and get this ball rolling, get this process going so that we can really get this in front of our donors in a timely way. And that way we can get these wishes granted sooner than we have in the past. So a little earlier than usual, but I think we've shortened and abbreviated the actual application itself. So hopefully that will make up for some of the squeeze in time if there is. So speaking of the timeline, as we said here, the deadline is July 30th, and that's a 5 p.m. deadline here in Atlanta. Then we'll be able to review those for eligibility, and we'll be able to send notifications to those applicants who will be included in the book by the end of August. So by Monday, August 30th, we'll notify all applicants of their status. That will then give us time to turn around those wishes write, build on the stories that you've shared with us. We do also ask for photographs, so we'll incorporate pictures into the catalog, and that way we can get that distributed around November, the beginning of November, when November 3rd is our target date, to get those published and distributed to donors, and also online. So we'll share that through our social media channels, post it on the website, and we'll actually physically mail this to our donors as well. And then from there, donors will have, kind of an ongoing fulfilling process. They'll review the books and they'll let us know, or the catalog, sorry, and they'll let us know when they've chosen wishes to grant. And we'll be notifying organizations as those wishes get fulfilled. So just so you know, we won't wait until the end of the cycle, or the end of Q1, for example. As they are fulfilled, we will get those dollars and checks turned out to the organization so that those wishes can be fulfilled timely. As it relates to reporting requirements, we're really trying to make an effort to not have a burden on the organizations when it comes to reporting. But we would like to share how the wish has fulfilled a need at your organization. So within a couple of months after the grant is fulfilled, we'll send a link for organizations to submit a report or a story narrative to tell us about the wish that was fulfilled, so that we can make sure from an audit perspective and an IRS perspective. We also ask for a copy of the receipt of the wish that was fulfilled. And then also if you could share a picture or a photograph of that in line with the storytelling, so that we can also use this for future publications of the catalog with your permission, so that other organizations can review it when we get into other cycles of the Extra Wish program. As you see there noted at the bottom, for wishes that only get partially funded, and we'll talk a little bit about this in a second, we won't submit the reporting requirement, or we won't send you that link until the entire wish is fulfilled. So no reporting until the wish is completely fulfilled. And so one of the notes that we just talked about with the partial funding. Sometimes donors may want to spread their gift across wishes, so they may not fully fund a wish, but they may partially fund a wish. And I will note though that typically all wishes are completely fulfilled, whether it's from one donor or from multiple donors. So don't be worried if partial funding comes through. It's been our experience that all wishes are granted. I can't guarantee that, of course, from year to year, but that has been our experience so far. Again, what donors are looking for is those tangibles, those tangible items that are making a difference in the work that you do. And that have been on that wish list that you just haven't been able to get to or haven't had the resources for. In a lot of cases, donors are also looking to how these items will be used in the communities that you serve. So when you tell those stories, again, compelling stories do make a difference there. And then if there's any cool items that, and I say cool, that kind of ages me probably, but innovative is maybe a better term. But if there are items that are I don't know, that are kind of out of the norm for grant making, and if it's a wish list, I'm blanking on a specific example, but maybe there are items that you use in your operations with your communities that are unique to your situation. Or unique to your communities. Share those because that's certainly helpful. And I see that there is. I saw that Kathleen posted a snake in there, so very unique, right? Those are really cool requests that you can, pique the donors' interests and get them engaged is a great way to submit your wish. And actually, thank you, Kathleen. I was gonna say, if you want to add anything that I've missed, maybe, or if you want to emphasize anything, I would invite you to share that.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, everybody. This is Kathleen Wagner at the Community Foundation. I don't really have much more to emphasize. I work on the philanthropic side of the foundation with our donors, and I will just say that the more creative the wish, the more likely to be fully funded. Really tangible things like tennis shoes or even PPE. I sent Ryan a chat that said, a couple years ago, someone asked for a snake for one of their education programs that they were offering, and donors got a kick out of that. So, yeah, tangibles that are creative are always more likely to get funded. But we also know that there are great needs for things like technology, MARTA cards, laptops, and all of that. We just won't be able to do a whole book of technology requests. So just consider that in your application. But thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Kathleen. We can move on to Q&A now. If there, I don't see any questions posted in the Q&A. If there are any, you can post them in there, and we can try to get those answered. If not, you can certainly send questions to the email in the application or in the guidelines to the Extra Wish, which is grants@cfga or cfgreateratlanta.org, and we'd be happy to answer any questions there. And just in time, because there's some lawn equipment going on outside my window now. But if there are no questions, then I appreciate you joining us this morning. And again, if you have any questions or thoughts, send them our way, and we'll be glad to help you through the process. And that deadline is July 30th. Again, a little earlier than usual, but hopefully that won't cause any problems. So I don't see any questions, so we'll go ahead and end this now and give you a little bit more time back today. And thank you all again, and have a great day.